There we go. I'm in frame. I'm here. We're all good. Awesome. So I got a question today. The question is looking back now, what was your I made it moment? So, yeah, questions looking back now, what was your I made it moment? Like the moment where I sat back and really thought, okay, I've made it in the music industry, I'm assuming is what they mean. And man, if I'm being honest, like, I don't think I have one. I don't think I've made it. I think I think at every stage of my career. So like, man, thinking back, like I started making music, like trying to start a band with my friends, and like my first instrument was bass. I was probably like 12 years old. 12, yeah, and like around 14, got like my first real band together, and we were like a little garage band, and Corn had just come out, and we wanted to be Corn so bad. I think that was, I don't think we would have admitted it at the time, but that was definitely the vibe. There's pictures of me when I'm like 16 wearing Adidas shirts, I'm sure. But, at that point, it was like, okay, if we can just do a show, like, and people like buy our cassette tapes, like we've made it. And people did. And then we were in like, we won the Battle of the Bands, and we were in the local newspaper, the Boca News in Boca Raton, Florida. And it was like, oh my God, we're in the newspaper. We made it. Well, I was like, well, now as I went on with my musical endeavors, it was like, okay, well, now I'm playing bass essentially in bands, and I was like, wow, what if I had my own band and I was the singer and I was the front man for it? Like maybe then I'd really make it. And so I did that, and I wrote a whole album and formed my own band and got people to play with me in the band, and started doing local shows and really fun, successful shows at like Culture Room in Fort Lauderdale and stuff. And the owner there, this guy Greg, was really supportive of us and really supportive of the local scene, and would put us on as the local band for like big tours coming through and stuff. And then he would put together these huge local shows of us, and there was like some of the other bands that were around doing stuff then. It was like Dead Star Assembly and Encode and Morrison Poe, and man, there was so many good bands that were just local bands that we were just kind of doing stuff, all at the same time, trying to have fun and do shows. And so we started doing that, and it was like, wow, if we could just get out of South Florida, then we've made it. Now we're not just a local band anymore. So we started traveling to Tampa, and we'd go to Orlando, and we'd go to Jacksonville, and it's like, Ocala. We used to play at the skate park in Ocala, where we were literally on top of like a skateboard ramp, and there was like 500 kids there, and we're in Ocala's horse country. It's middle of nowhere, but I'm like, oh my God, like people here coming out to our shows, they're appreciating what we're doing. Like we've made it. And then it was like, well, we're still a Florida band though. We have to get out and tour nationally. So my friends, and my friend James and my friends in Crossbreed had introduced me to the guys from Mushroomhead and put in a really good recommendation. It's like, man, this band Human Factors Lab, you got to take them out on tour with you. And luckily for me, they did. And so we had an opportunity, and now we're a support band on a national tour for the first time ever. And our name is on flyers, and our name is on the radio, and it's in magazines, and wherever else, this tour is being promoted, we were included in all that ad map. And we're playing to like 500 people a night. We're getting paid for it. We're making money from the shows. We're getting paid from the merchandise. People are liking what we're doing. We're signing autographs. We're taking photos. And I was like, oh my God, we're on this national tour. We've made it. And then that tour led to other tours. We did some great stuff with Mushroomhead more, and we went out with KMFDM, who I grew up listening to and was one of my favorite bands. And now we're on tour with them, and we're opening. And it was this kind of thing where it's like, okay, we've toured a lot now, and but we're just the support band. It's not our tour. We're opening up for a bigger band. maybe if we get and we do our own tour, then we've made it, right? And I think you see the pattern that's happening here. And so this went on, and then my career as an engineer, not just as an artist and a musician, but I started working in studios when I was 15, and I went to school for audio engineering. I went to Full Sail in Orlando. I was working in studios before I went to college in Fort Lauderdale and in Miami and Orlando eventually. Um, and I was young, and as a kid, basically walking down the halls of these studios, and it's filled with just the platinum records of bands that you recognize, and as going into college and going to school for audio engineering, and I remember day one walking in those halls, and they're just lined with platinum albums, and me going, man, if I work really hard here and I really dedicate everything to this and make this my life and be the best that I can and really try to be the best at this, one day I'll get my own platinum album. There's some project I'll work on, and I'll record, and I'll have a platinum album. And as you notice behind me, I have a couple. I have a lot, and that's great, and I'm excited for it. But sure enough, I sit there and I go, man, I got like 60 of these things. I've worked with some great artists, and had the privilege to be involved in really great albums with great artists and great engineers and producers, and just the experiences have been amazing in that regard. But maybe if I get a platinum album with my own band, I'll have made it, right? That's when I'll make it. And so I think the theme, I think what it is I don't think I've made it. And the reason I say that is because there is this blessing and a curse that anytime I achieve a goal that I've really wanted and worked for, and I thought that that's what I'm supposed to be doing, I get there and it's not always that fulfilling. It's not, it's like the curse of getting what you want, I think. So it's, I get there and I'm like, man, I achieved this thing, but now I want the next thing. And it's not out of greed. It's just ambition, maybe, for wanting to achieve more and do the most I can and be the best I can and have the most impact on the world and impact people's lives in a positive way. So, there's that thing where like it's a curse because am I ever going to be happy? Am I happy now? Will I ever be? Maybe. Or am I always going to be struggling to reach something that's always just out of reach? Because once I do get there, then I want the next best thing. I think it's a blessing, though, in the sense that that's kept me going. That is a drive that I don't settle, and things can't be good enough. They have to be at my standard, which is pretty high for pretty much everything in my life. I keep things at a very high standard. And so it's, man, I think it's good because I will always try to do the best. And it's taken me places because there's a lot of places where people would be content and they would go, okay, I did what I wanted and I reached what I wanted. And so they stop working as hard. They stop putting in the effort. They stop reaching for those goals or chasing those dreams. And I don't know, maybe the right answer is somewhere in between. I think a little bit of it is always be looking for more and always be going for better, but also stop and realize where you are and what you've done and how far you've come and what the work you've done means. For me, the only time I perceive myself in a way that I think I've succeeded or had some accomplishment or made it is through other people's comments, where somebody, I get a glimpse of how other people view me, which doesn't always align with the way I view myself. And so somebody will say, oh, wow, I can't even think of an exact example right now, but, well, even this video, somebody left a comment earlier on a TikTok video, and they said, with your podcast, you're interviewing everybody else, but what about your stories? You've worked on so and so album. I bet you have some great stories. And I sit back and I think about it and I go, oh, yeah, I guess I did work on that album. And that album was really successful. And I do have stories from that. So, um, yeah, hopefully that answered the question. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it opens some more questions. But yeah, I think what I'm going to start doing is answering more of the questions because with the Yes, Quit Your Day Job podcast, it's me talking with other people. And the podcast is designed for me to give other people a platform and tell their stories and share their passions, which doesn't leave a lot of room for me to share mine. So yeah, keep asking questions. You can send emails, boss@yesquityourdayjob.com. Yeah, hit me up. Let me know.